Hi guys, my name is Live, written L1V3. I'm a techno musician and live performer, and I'm welcoming you to my workshop to show you the result of something I'm very proud of, which took me more than 2 years to achieve. Let me present to you my live box. This box is a MIDI station, the kind of box you would place in the center of your gear setup. It has 5 inputs, 5 outputs, and with a powerful microcontroller in between. What is the purpose of this thing, you might ask? Well, I don't know about you, but as far as I'm concerned, I was fed up with using all types of MIDI boxes like MIDI filters, through boxes, MIDI mergers, or even processors. They are quite expensive, and at some point you never have enough of them or you end up with too many limitations. My box eliminates those limitations by giving you the power to create and program whatever your MIDI routing needs are. You can literally transform any basic MIDI controller into a very smart remote. When I say programming, I'm not kidding. You can literally code the rules this box will be able to follow. This is quite a long subject and my video would end up being too long if I explain this thing entirely, so as an introduction to the Livebox ecosystem, let me first show you how you can program it. The funny thing is, you don't even need the hardware version of this box to start testing it. You simply have to go to my website, L1V3.net, and click on the Livebox button on the top right. This website is a web editor for my box, but it is fully functional as is. Let me show you. You will see that this web user interface is very easy to understand. You've got at the left a representation of the virtual version of the box. You've got some explanation on the right with some presets I made for you. You can access to the documentation from the menu over there. I encourage you to go to the Getting Started, on which I will explain most of the things you have to understand to make it work. So the very first thing you have to do is to plug some controllers or synthesizers directly to your computer while you are on the website. So here, first I will plug this controller, this Firefox controller UC4, by plugging it to the computer. And then you will see on the screen that the controller has been recognized and is connected. I will also plug my key step here. So both those controllers have inputs and outputs, so that's why you have them, both of them on the list. And so they are now connected. If you go back next time to the website, those hardware will be in the memory. If they are unplugged, it will just tell you that the controller is disconnected. Okay, so now they are connected. You have to assign each of them directly to one of the box ports over there. So if you want to connect the Firefox on the first one, you double click on this port and you simply connect, and then it lighten up. Let's do that with the Arturia key step on this entry. And then for the output, what I encourage you to do is to install and run a software called Protocol. I already have it installed over there, Protocol with a K. This is a very good software to check the MIDI routing going through your computer, in fact. So it's very intuitive. I will put the link to download it in the description of this video. Now, if I go back to MIDI setup, I see that Protocol is over there, connected. And by the way, you can see that the Firefox UC4 and Arturia key step 32 are connected to the input 1 and input 2, respectively. So now, let's connect Protocol to the first output, simply by selecting it on the list. If I go back to MIDI setup, now I can see that Protocol is assigned or linked to the first output of the box. Now that everything is plugged, we can already start to use the system. So if I move one of the fader of the Firefox UC4, you will see on the screen that the system is reacting. You can see the flow of the MIDI protocol going through the first input port of the box, and as you can see, all the messages are forwarded to all outputs, but only the first one is connected, so the only one is reacting. So as you can see, the box by default is acting as a merger. But of course, I didn't spend 2 years to create a merger. I wouldn't be very efficient if it was the case. No, the main goal of this thing is to create rules you can program. So as an example, what I'm going to do is to take one of the presets I already made for you, and I will take these and drag and drop it directly on the interface. So automatically this preset has been assigned to the first entry. If I want to assign to a second entry, in fact you would have to select the entry first and drag and drop the rule or the preset over there. If you want to remove a preset, just click on it, click that you are sure, and that's it. So let's go back to the first entry, and then let's see the preset I just dropped. So it is called reverse CC. In fact, this is a preset that will reverse any control change value that will go through this entry. So as you can see, when the rule is dropped, you have a warning here. It's because this preset doesn't have any condition to be triggered. So if I double click on this, let's change its name, my reverse rule. Okay, so now you can see it was updated on the left. And so, like I said, the very first thing you have to do to make this rule triggered is to create a condition, so the if over there. So this is the part you have to code, but if you don't know anything about coding, you can use the learn button, so it will act exactly as you would expect it, like in a door. So I click on learn, I move one of the further, and then it created the condition for me based on the MIDI message I just received. So here it just tells that if I receive a control change MIDI message and this control change has the value of 11, then this rule will be triggered. So now you can see also that there are two bars appearing on this section panel. These two bars are here because of the code behind these presets. So if I display the code, now I can see the code that will be triggered when this preset will be detected. So it's in Lua. I don't know if you know this language, but this is a pretty cool language and easy to learn. And this preset is doing stuff very, very simple. So you have two sections over there. The first section is to declare two variables. One is called value, one is called new. Value will be initialized with the value, the data number 2 value of the control change that we are receiving. And the second variable, called new, will be initialized to 0. Don't bother to understand what you have on the right in green. We will see it later. The next thing we are doing is the logic here. So we just asking to put inside new a new value, which is computed based on value, in fact. So I'm launching a function called map. This function is doing very simple thing. It's just mapping a value between 0 to 127 to another value going to 127 to 0. So what does that mean is, in fact, it will reverse any value between those numbers to the equivalent between those two numbers. That's it. The last part of the presets, you have a print. It's just something that will be printed inside the browser, and also a MIDI send method asking the system to send a MIDI message to the output number 2. So let's select number 1, and we will send a control change, the same value as the one we received. We will send the new value and the same MIDI channel that the one we received. So now, if I'm unchecking the code and move one of the fader, so if I go up, the new value goes down. If I go down, the new value goes up. You can see on the left also that it indicates that the rule has been triggered, and because we have a MIDI send to the first one, we can see that the flow is going to the output number 1. If you check on the right, you can see the values that goes to protocol from 0 to 127. So now I hope you understand the potential of this box, and if you want to follow this project, you can do it on YouTube and Facebook and sometimes in Instagram. I see you in the next video. Bye bye guys.